Kalalal Wawala Shamir Shaiba Shamakakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule and teach well. Peace and salutations to the brothers on the four corners of this earth, pushing this word in truth, also in sincerity, risking their lives more now so than ever to do so. Shalom. Alright, so we have a bit of a article there, right? Pursuant to the Online Act, Online Safety Act. We talk about on the Work Sunday. So we will get on to it. It's more impromptu video. So no precepts written down or anything like that, but we'll let the spirit lead. It's a UK government admits Online Safety Act will monitor anti-immigration opinions. It says the Online Safety Act, introduced to protect minors from harmful content on the internet, currently is in reality serving a much more anti-democratic purpose. In an interview with GB News on Monday, 28 July, Labour MP Barry Gardiner acknowledged that the law, framed as a measure to protect children, is also aimed at targeting harmful adult discourse online. He said the law also aims to identify and restrict content deemed harmful, including expressions of sentiments contrary to immigration. His admission marks a turning point in the debate over freedom of expression in the United Kingdom. Until now, the Labour government has avoided explicitly confirming that the law had an ideological and repressive component, hiding behind the rhetoric of child safety, but Gardiner's statements have removed any ambiguity. The Online Safety Act, passed in 2023, requires all platforms hosting user-generated content, from social networks to forums and news sites, to verify the age of their users. This measure has even resulted in adults being forced to upload scans of their ID documents and banking details or undergo facial recognition to access sensitive content. While, in theory, this was indeed to prevent minors from accessing pornography and explicit violence, the reality is that it is being used to censor news, political speech, and critical opinions on mass immigration. A particularly revealing case was that of Conservative MP Katie Lamb, who, denouncing the state's passivity in the face of grooming gangs in British cities, was censored on X under the pretext of protecting minors. Another recent example is the inability to view videos of anti-immigration protests without first going through an age verification process. The immediate result has been the digital collapse of numerous British websites, surge in the use of VPNs. Platforms like Gab and BitChute have blocked UK users' access to avoid handing over their data to the British media regulator, Ofcom. Innocuous forums such as those for hamster owners or single dads have shut down due to the inability to meet regulatory compliances, technical and legal costs. Far from guaranteeing the safest place in the world to be online, as the government promised, the Online Safety Act has become an Orwellian tool of control. And hey, we bring out that, it's George Orwell is the man name. He views on the dystopia society that we enter in. Restrictions are no longer limited to the legal, but extend to what is potentially harmful or disinformative concepts unilaterally defined by the state. The threat of a multi-million pound fine, up to 10% of a company's global turnover, ensues submissive compliance by platforms. Gardiner's admission reveals that the objective is to create an environment where specific the prevailing migration model are made invisible. This represents yet another step toward consolidating a censorship system in the name of the common good, where the government decides which opinions may be expressed and which must be eradicated. The British experience is not an isolated case. The European Union is advancing in parallel with its Digital Services Act, another piece of legislation that, under the excuse of protecting minors, threatens to sanction any platform that does not cooperate in monitoring harmful content. Although the European case promises anonymous verification, points toward future integration with the EU digital identity wallets, which could open the door to an unprecedented pan panopticon. We are witnessing the birth of a new institutional censorship aimed not at criminals but at citizens who dare to think differently under the pretext of child safety and the fight against hate. Western governments are building digital surveillance apparatus which, Salakia, were dissent may be enough to get you blocked, where dissent may be enough to get you blocked, fined, or even in prison. And yeah, that is the nitty-gritty of it, right? And we know our views are not in line with the how to put it, with the views of society, right? Get this precept here. This precept comes to mind. I'll get this precept here. Against, oh gosh, keyboard. Slovakia against kingdoms. Let's be more one sec. No, it's not so far. Um, Idea Jeremiah 28:8. It says, "The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and evil and of pestilence." You understand? And that is what it is, because what we are about to say or what we're saying wouldn't go in line with what the government think or the societal norm. Right? And what they're saying in the article is that the so-called Online Safety Act that was really, or was first said to be to protect minors, right, is now being used as surveillance, and not only in the UK but in the EU as well, right? Look at this precept here. Amos 8:11, "Behold, the days come, saith the Lord power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh." You understand? "And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord, and shall not find it." You understand? They go find it because why? Because it wouldn't be in line with what the government deem as safe. And as they say, we'll be penalized for it. You understand? We'll be penalized for the word. Because they say you'll be fined, could be imprisoned, site could be shut down, so on and so forth. Right? John 7:7, it says, "The world cannot hate you, but me it hated, because I testify of it, that the works thereof are evil." Yeah, you understand? It hate the fact that we testify the evil, but that is the words of Yahushai, right? We come bringing the gospel, and it's good news to us, bad news to them, you know. It said, "If the world hate you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. If he were of the world would love his own. But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hated you." You understand? Therefore the world will hate us. And that is fine. Yeah, so now we will go through our persecutions, as we will have many, you know, thus says the Lord. I mean, to get this word across until he return, until the time of the famine anyway. Alright, so it was informative through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai Bashim Kakudash. Until next time, Shalom.